Hey crafters, welcome to Paulette's Pretty Paper Crafts. We are visiting today from my kitchen. I have been collecting some Valentine's Day items to give to some of my family, and gosh, that's just kind of turned into a baking candy segment journey as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of that and maybe some solutions or ideas if you don't exactly have some of these shaped items. So let's get started. First, I found these little $1 silicone cake pans at the Dollar Tree, and I picked those up, gosh, probably a month ago. And they're small, so, shoot, what do they hold? Maybe a cup, maybe a cup and a half. And so I went ahead and just got each of us 2 of them. And red for Katie because she has her KitchenAid mixer that she got for Christmas. Green for Amber because that's her favorite color. And then blue for myself. And Amber had called me one day about a week before Super Bowl and asked me if I had any football cookie cutters. And so my husband and I went on a mission to Springfield, Missouri, to the craft stores to see if we could find this, and Party City, and nobody has a football cookie cutter. What are people doing? That would be a prime item to sell right before Super Bowl. But anyway, my husband Googled football cookie cutter and found these for us. They were $1.50 at klconfections.com, and they were $1.50, and there were 4 available, so I had him order 3 so each of us girls could have one. Amber and her sister did a really fun thing with their cookie cutter, and I'm going to show you that. They baked brownies and then used the cookie cutter to cut them out, and then they took frosting and put some laces on there. Isn't that fun? And Mallory sent me this picture, so I asked her if I could share it on my blog, and she said yes. So I just think that's brilliant. I'm so excited that they had a good use for the football cookie cutter. Well, what happens if you don't have a football shape cookie cutter? I do not want you to fret one little bit, because I have a solution for you. If you have a biscuit cutter or even just a round cookie cutter, and I do not have one here, I'm sure I have one somewhere in my stash. This is the lid of a peanut butter jar or a big old Miracle Whip jar, and I just cut that with a box cutter. And you can do a pretty good job. Just keep cutting till it gets fairly level, because when you cut cookies, you're going to rotate that a little bit so it doesn't have to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a round cutter of some sort, you would cut on your sugar cookie dough, and essentially you would have this circle shape. Well, then if you just move it over to the right a little bit and cut again, then you would have this waist piece here. And if you move it a little bit to the left and cut again, then you would have this waist piece here. And look, right here is your football. So there are ways to work around some of those things. So if you don't have a football, you can still get football. And this is a great way to, if you just cut here, can you see the half moon if you needed a moon? Maybe you had a star cookie cutter. So anyway, there's always more than one way to skin a cat, right? So the day that we were looking for the football cookie cutters at Hobby Lobby, they had these silicone spatulas on sale. They're a normal $3.99, and they were like 40% off, and oh my gosh, how perfectly they matched these little cake pans. So those will be the perfect Valentine gift for my girls. I may not even make them a paper crafted gift because I have those. I think they're perfect. Let's see. Let's go ahead and talk about these next. We went to a big old craft, I'm going to call it a craft mall. It's a huge building with just lots, 200 booths inside. My husband and I went, and let's see, this one was called Main Street Mall in Ozark, Missouri, and the day we were in there, I had looked at these little cupcake tins, and I passed on them. They were $2 a piece, which was a really, really good price. But I ultimately passed on them, and then they were calling my name. Oh my gosh. So I went back and purchased them, and the day that I went back, they were actually had a crazy sale in that booth, and I ended up paying $3.60 for all three of these. But they're little mini cupcake tins, and won't this be fun? I'm going to use these for my husband's birthday that's coming up here near the month of, it is in the month of February. We are in February 2015, and his birthday is just a couple weeks away, so I thought this would be really fun. Katie bought me that Wilton kind of squeezy frosting tool for Christmas, and I think this will just be really, really easy. Make some little cupcakes. So I had to take my baby to another daycare place on a different side of town that I'm not always, near, and there's a big craft mall over there too. It's near West Bypass and Kansas Expressway, and it's called Mike's Unique Antiques, and I ran in there, and I come across these heart pans. They were taped together, and they were $3.99 for the two of them. This one is scuffed up a little bit, but that is not going to affect the way it works. I will give that one to Katie and give the nicer one to Amber. But here was what I was thinking, is they could use these with the little heart pan, and they could make kind of a layer thing. I think probably the heart cake pan will hold a whole cake mix. So what they will need to do, and I will be sure, maybe I could print up a little thing or handwrite a little thing. Oh, that's a good idea. I've got a big heart die cut, so I could handwrite on there that they should fill this one first and then put the rest of their cake mix in this one. That way they have enough for both cake pans. So I think that's really fun. And if you do not have a heart-shaped cake pan, I do not want you to fret at all. If you have a 8-inch square and an 8-inch round cake pan, most every baker or cook does. And this is what we used to do before they made all of the shaped cake pans. You would bake your round and bake your square cake, and then cut your round cake in half and use your frosting and glue that together. And this makes a lovely, really big heart cake. And then just, cover that with frosting, and it covers up all your seams, and no one is the wiser. A really fun thing you could also do is you could do your round cake and white cake mix, and you could do your square cake and chocolate cake mix, and you could have vanilla and chocolate cake, if you wanted to do something like that. So that's really cool. I also, at Mike's Unique Antiques, found some of these little candy molds, and this one is a little Santa one, and actually it's international leisure activities. Wilton makes a lot of these. I've got quite a few of these. I just kind of collect them, and I have never made candy with them. But now that I've got Millie, I thought, oh, this would be so much fun. I will not be doing, the whole idea behind these is that you will buy the different colored candy discs and melt them, and then squeeze each little section in here, and that's just going to be too time consuming for me. I'll buy chocolate, and I will make my molds with chocolate, and that will be just fine. You can find all of the items you need to do that in the Wilton candy aisle, at the craft store, at Wal-mart. You can order them online even. I just think that'll be really fun. These were 50 cents. I also found one that was these Easter eggs, and someone has they've cut the frame off of this one, but it's still in perfect shape, so that'll be fun for Easter. Another really cool thing you can do with these is you can make little holiday soaps. You know, Bath and Body Works at the mall has these clear glycerin soaps, and they used to be $3 a piece. These were $3 at the time I purchased these. I did not pay $3 for these. I like to buy them when they're getting rid of them. People pick them up and they smell them and they throw them back in the bins and they get all scuffed up and beat up looking like these are. And you know, I didn't even notice, look, these are different. They're the same shape, but probably as the economy has changed. This one's thinner than this one. But the price didn't change. They were both $3 a piece. But I only paid $1 a piece for these. Because when they get all bunged up and they clear them out, they sell them for $1 a piece. So that's when I will buy up, 3 or 4 bars, and I just hang on to them. You can cut them up and put them in a little glass bowl in the microwave and melt them, and then pour them into these molds, and then you have little holiday soaps. And sometimes I like to give those as gifts. I just think it's fun. And for your, for kids, you can also, if you've got a bigger thing, bigger cavities, if you have some like official soap molds, you can put things inside the soap. You put just about 1/4 of an inch of soap in here and let it firm up. You can put plastic bugs, you could put erasers, you can put plastic rings inside the soap, and then fill it up with more soap, more melted soap. And then when they get firm, you pop them out, and then the kids use them. And once they use it all up, then they have the little gift inside. So that's kind of fun. It's kind of fun too. So, but I'm gonna make some suckers. I'm gonna make some chocolate suckers this year. Here's another one. This one was really interesting. This one is Wilton, and it's very pliable and flexible. The cool thing about this is, and I'm sure this, the plastic ones were the initial ones that they came out with. And now that they're, that company has grown and people are doing the rolled fondant and all this other stuff. And they've got just so many more molds than they used to. This one is flexible so that when your suckers are done, you can pop them out by flexing on this mold. So that's really cool. But we've got a circle. I thought that would be really fun for a smiley face or even a sunshine. Heart, there's a diamond with the Wilton emblem in the center, a tulip, and this Christmas tree. So I thought those were really cool. You could also use this for the soap mold. You'd have to cover the little sucker trough with some tape, probably just some painter's tape or Scotch tape would work just fine. So really fun. I also have run into Target, into the $1 spot, and picked up a couple of things in there as well. My mission was for these little mailboxes. Oh my gosh. Somebody on Clear and Simple Stamps has done a little envelope project and used these little mailboxes. And so I had to run in there. They open at the top, and they were $1 a piece. I'm going to give Millie the pink one, and I'm going to keep the red one at Nana's house. That way she can play with them at both places, because I'll buy her these cute little fun things, and they go to her house, and I never see them again. So, and they are her gift, so that is perfectly fine. I also come across this little Hello Kitty mailbox. Oh my gosh. And it opens just like a real mailbox. And I bought some Valentine M&Ms at Walmart, and those are going to fit in here perfectly. And then I also found some kids flatware. This is actually larger. It's larger than baby silverware. And so I thought that would be fun. It's got little cupcakes up here, so I'm going to put those inside the mailbox. They're going to be really close, but I think I can make them fit. This mailbox also came with 2 sheets of Hello Kitty stickers. Aren't those precious? And we love Hello Kitty. We know exactly who that is, so that's really fun. I also found it's an Easter, and I just annihilated the packaging. These little bubble necklaces in the $1 spot as well, and they were $1. There were some little ducks and some little bunnies. The ducks weren't as cute as the carrots in my eyes, and neither were the bunnies. The bunnies were weird. They had really short ears, or they were pasted back on their heads. And so I went with the carrots. They will stand up, and they are a necklace. So I will give one of these to Millie at Easter, and I will keep one here at Nana's house so that we can enjoy those together. I also found these little buckets at Target, and they were $3. I really hated to pay $3 a piece because they are a Dollar Tree item. I have purchased a similar bucket at Dollar Tree. They were a little bit more narrow, and they were a little bit taller. This one is wider and perfectly square, I would say. If this bucket was just about this much longer, it would be perfect. I've got some of those little square Sterilite buckets, the ones with all the little holes in the sides of them. I bought those when school started in the fall of 2014. They are just not big enough. But you know, when I purchased them, I bought, oh gosh, maybe $8 worth. And I told myself, if this doesn't work out, I will donate these to Millie, because those stack and kind of lock together. I could even use zip ties to lock them together and just have them on their side so that they were a bunch of little cubbies, you know, and you could tuck little toys and things inside them, books and whatnot. But I have gone to a different way of organization in my craft room, so we're going to talk just a little bit about that, and then we're going to wrap up this video. In the summer, my husband and I had our 32nd wedding anniversary, and in making this card, I had to pull product from every different wall in my craft studio. Because I'm an odd bird, I guess, I store my big thick dies all in one area on one shelf. I stored my little thin dies all in one area on another shelf. I stored all of my clear stamps in another place. And I stored all of my boxed sets, like Stampin' Up! Stamps that are in the little clam shells, wood-mounted stamps. I stored them together on a shelf. And this just was not conducive to the flow of creativity and card making. And as my stash grows, I'm having to constantly evolve and change the way I store things. So what I've ended up doing is taking these little buckets, and I've brought everything together for a theme. So like for this nautical themed card, regardless of whether it's a thick die, a thin die, a clear stamp, or a wood-mounted stamp, it's all in one container for that theme. So I have a nautical theme, I have a wedding theme, I've got a guy theme, I've got florals, animals, and so on. You know, alphabets and numerical are all in one bucket. It's just making it easier for me to craft. I can pull that bucket and go to my craft station and sit down and make a card. Pull everything out I need. I can take it over to the die cutting station, die cut everything I need, and put it right back in that bucket. I'm not having to go all over my craft room to put things away. So that's kind of fun. So as usual, if you guys have any questions, be sure and let me know.